I started going to a lot of protests, really getting involved on like Facebook and looking at all the protests that were going on. And eventually I was like, I really love going to protests, but I want to do something more. So I ended up I was like, I know anti-racism workshops are a thing. And I'm like, I think my community could really use that. And so I was like, okay, what can I do about this? So I started planning a curriculum because I feel like I already did a lot of research about it and some things I just knew from like life. But so I made a Google Doc of like words, definitions, examples, and then like questions to ask people about like those words. And then I just wanted to see like test the water. So I posted on my social media about it. And a lot of people said they would really want to go. So I started planning like days I would do them. And yeah, it kind of just took off from there. And I ended up, so I think it cost $25 per person. But if anyone couldn't pay, they could just contact me. But a lot could because I live in a wealthier community. So,
Mhm.
and I donated 100% of the proceeds, which ended up being like $4,000 to different Black organizations. So,
That's
yeah.
fantastic. Have you been holding those like seminars in person or virtually, or how has that worked in terms of the pandemic?
Yeah, so at first again, like I've been going to protests, so I kind of saw like the back end of like the pandemic and I'm like I'm really concerned about like masks and stuff. So I required masks that was on the flyer. And then um everyone social distance, so there was like picnic tables, so there was like one person at each picnic table, or if it was like a couple they could like have their own picnic table, but half were like that and then another half was on Zoom for people who like could not do it in person and who had like pre-existing conditions and were like worried about getting it, and I really understood that, so I had multiple opportunities both ways.